Mike the Cop here. Welcome to the Off the Cuff podcast. I'm going to just dive right in here because we actually kind of talk about some of our show partners in the show. But just in case you fast forward because we're boring you at some points, do not forget that Black Rifle Coffee gives 20% off to try their coffee club, their apparel, their coffee equipment, anything you want from them. You can try it all for 20% off with code ThinBlueLine. And if you get actual Thin Blue Line coffee, whether it's the K-Cups or the bags, it helps go back to support law enforcement charities like Humanizing the Badge. So give them a look, please. Relentless Defender Apparel. 2 amazing new shirts are out. The Just Stand and also a Real Sacrifice. If you find those on Relentless Defender Apparel, get those shirts. They're amazing. RelentlessDefender.com/MTC. Go there with that link. That way they know you came from us. Also, Millicor supplements. They're actually really helping me in my fitness weight loss stuff. MILLECOR.com. Military, law enforcement, and the Corps. That's what that comes from. Millicor.com/MTC. Use the code Mike the Cop for 10% off anything in the store. And hey, if you love us enough to support us on Patreon, consider that. We throw out extras to our patron supporters, bonus stuff for tiers, giveaways, Discord stuff. So hey, check it out. Have we ever gone into an episode more miserable and unprepared?
Well, I'm sure we have.
I don't know.
Well,
I'm gonna. Yes. I feel like I'm gonna. What? It's so loud.
It is loud.
It's so loud.
And then it's gonna
just
close up, like shut right away. You can be like, "Hey,
no, it's fading."
It is fading.
Oh, it
wow!
Faded.
Things have changed around here right? Ever since last week.
We've really made some upgrades. We can hear the fade in the music now,
which was way loud.
Which was very loud. Death. Should be on the warning label as a possible outcome of listening to that. Hey, can we play one of those ads? Because Dave and I need to do our dance that you so woefully didn't record before. Awkward silence.
Wow.
We just broke the first rule of radio.
Yeah. Wow.
No dead air.
An anticipatory
and
blank space.
There it is. Okay. I got it going.
We call it the flabby try. The flabby try.
Dude, I think that should take fire.
Oh, it's gonna
catch fire.
It's just a matter of time.
Yes,
people
any
will
kids
just
that watch the
literally burn it
podcast are
down.
just gonna go into school and do the flabby try.
Oh my god!
And
what if it just became
Drake
a thing?
is gonna write a song about it.
What if? It's so ridiculous.
All right, producer, can you bring my voice up?
Up?
Yeah,
He
a little bit.
Hearing his voice.
I'm only hearing myself through like Dave's mic. Oh, there we go. I actually hear myself now.
Oh yeah, who was complaining that it was too loud earlier?
Well, here we go.
I was. I'm not the one at the board.
It's actually louder than.
All I can say is that Mike hasn't changed his distance.
I haven't changed my distance.
Somehow the sound quality has changed.
I didn't change how I was talking. You talk for me.
Yeah. Okay. You are a beautiful man.
Thank you.
So
Thank
maybe
you so
it's
much.
not.
Can you bring me down? I'm telling you, dude. This thing is all over the place.
Phase.
He's
a little
getting mad,
angered, pouty face.
Okay. Okay, that's good. I think. Now you talk.
Hello?
Yeah, you sound perfect.
Yeah, you should be quiet the whole time.
Because I am perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're cranky.
Yeah, what's up?
I thought running every morning. I thought running every morning was going to help your attitude.
Relieve stress.
It has not helped. You say it's a stress relief, but you are more wound up than ever.
I'm just.
I know it would help. I know.
he was aghast.
He was like,
oh. No, I'm just frustrated the fact that I changed your audio.
He just wants it
fine.
right. He just
now,
wants it right.
see, I don't hear you anymore.
Hello.
There you go.
God, you sound great now.
Goodness.
Hey,
what?
listen, I'm just calling
it's just
it like it is.
It's not the soundboard. It is the microphones. That is what it is.
Maybe it's you.
So it's
not
so
me.
it's the UPPs.
only one of us is controlling the sound. I didn't touch anything.
You know, this is how I control the sound. This is how I do it. That's number one, but this is also how I do it.
Dave, do you see what I'm? You see that I'm drinking coffee out of a clear glass?
Yeah.
I'm breaking all the social norms.
You are. What's going on with that?
I go against the stream.
You notice how I'm drinking just water and not whiskey?
Yeah.
Breaking all the social norms of myself.
Both of these things, our sponsors told us that we should be celebrating.
Yeah, and we are, in fact, sponsored by water. So.
No, I'm talking about our AA sponsors.
Yeah, no, I stopped talking to him. Yeah, no, he was a real bear. He's like, hey, you need to stop drinking. I'm like, what? Shut up.
Shut up.
I'm done with this.
Why are you always such a downer?
Here, just have a drink with me.
It is.
You need something to relax yourself here.
It is 10:26 in the morning. I did have whiskey last night before I went to bed, but
I didn't have anything.
You were.
That's what I'm saying. I'm breaking all my, not even social, just my norms.
You didn't work last night. This is the shocking thing right now.
Right.
Like, this is what I cannot believe.
I have even more shocking
that
news
you
than that.
did not go to work.
So we could actually do this week in review. How about you want to do the week in review?
Yeah, let's jump into the week in review.
Because this is the freaking week in
Sorry.
I just like hearing it. So week in review for me is, first of all, I did call in sick.
Just one day last night.
Right. I called in sick last night. I wasn't feeling well. And I had not slept. And I worked the night before. I was up all day, and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Actually, I didn't call in sick. I took a vacation day.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like I said,
Why not burn a sick day?
'Cause I don't have any to burn.
All right. When did you use your sick days?
Oh, I use them. I mean, I use them all the time except for to do this. This is the only time I vowed never to use a sick day is when I'm doing a podcast. It's the only time. So, so I called in sick because I've been working on my house. It's not just a living room or the kitchen. It's my whole freaking house. And so, oh my God, it's nonstop. And I'm just a one-man army is what I am. I'm a one-man wrecking
Why can't
ball.
the diversity team do all this while you're working?
She's too busy being diverse in places. You know what I mean? And I'm just focused, and she's diverse, and that's why. Ooh, also, big news. I'm going to day shift. I know we talked about it last time, but the reason
in theory,
right.
But it was confirmed in group text.
Right.
That you are making the jump.
I am, in fact, making the jump. October 13th is when the new shift.
What is it? 8 a.m. is the start time?
7 a.m. 7 a.m. till, I don't know, 5?
5?
Yeah. You know what? Dude, it's been a rough road. It's getting worse and worse and worse for me. So if I even said, like, and this is how serious I am, guys, is if I only got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays off, I would still go to day shift. That's how bad my body is just breaking down.
Yeah, you need help, man.
Yeah, I do.
And this switch happens in October?
October 13th. And I'm not sure what days yet because we're still picking. But it'll be a piece of the weekend. I'm not sure if it'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah. Oh, God.
Nice.
I'm actually looking forward to it, which I don't know why, because I've definitely worked plenty of overtime on days, but that's because I worked overtime after working midnights.
Right.
But like I don't know what I have to look forward to yet because I haven't worked days in, basically haven't worked in like 20 years.
The only thing you have to look forward to is being able to feel somewhat human again.
Well, that was the thing.
And it won't be right away. It'll be a week or two after you're on days. All of a sudden, you're going to realize, this is what it's like to be awake.
Yeah.
Like you kind of like live in a fog, in some level of fogginess when you work midnights for that long. And all of a sudden, like, because when I switched to days after like 5 years of midnights, and you've worked midnights way longer than I have, and I didn't realize like how
different it is.
How beautiful the world could be.
You can hear birds chirping, and
Now the other part is you also realize how it's a trade-off because day shift sucks.
Well, keeping in mind, I have worked a ton of day shifts. Because I'll be bumping. Well, there's a lot of guys coming to days. We'll be bumping brand new. Like our day shift is full of new guys, which is really unusual, right? Although we have had such a huge turnover that most of the department is actually somewhat new. But you know how days is generally for
they stick
the
usually the
guys.
Probationary guys on there. That seems to be the MO these days. Is they want them on days so that they can sort of like babysit them more.
Yeah, it's kind of feels like is kind of the way. So they'll be bumping a lot of those guys.
It won't show up on the podcast.
So it'll be bumping those guys, and it's. I was talking to one of the techs, and he's like, "Hey, just so you know, they're complaining. It doesn't affect him at all because he has his own schedule." He's like, "Yeah." They're complaining. They're like, well, Dave has no idea what he's getting into working the days. He's got to run. He actually has to do runs. I'm thinking, first off, it's funny how midnights get such a bad rap regarding run taking and stuff. But then I'm like, first of all, I've been doing this job about 19 times longer than anybody that says that, and my only job is to actually take police runs. It doesn't bother me to take police runs. It never has, and it never will. And when it finally does, I will retire because it's my only real job is to answer police runs. Take reports, answer police runs. So I'm thinking, what are they trying to say? Because like, it's people have this again. It's always that the battle of midnights versus what I mean like.
Right.
But man, people take it to such a crazy level, He's going to have to work. I'm like, yeah, that's what work is, And I know that I'm not a ball of fire anymore, but I do know how to police. I do know how to, take runs and I do reports and stuff like that. So, God, it's going to be so weird.
Clickety clack, clickety clack.
God, it's going to be so weird.
Yes, I would like to report my check missing.
No.
My neighbors watering their lawn, and they're putting excessive water on my side of the grass.
I would at least rather get those runs because they're time appropriate. Why is it that men and women wait until 4 a.m. to decide they need to go pick up items from their boyfriend or girlfriend's house?
Like a little civil standby.
Yeah,
like
at
now's
least that's
the time
appropriate. Hey, they're out there watering. It's falling 3 inches onto my yard.
Oh yeah,
that's at least time appropriate.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I've heard just about every complaint there is. It's what keeps me in business. So I can do that. I can go there. People wave on days. It's weird.
Do you ever run into the people on midnights that have kids up at 3 a.m?
Oh yeah.
And you're like, well, what are you doing with your children at 3 a.m. out? Why are you doing this? What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
They like to stay up late. Yeah, it's a school night. Do they have school tomorrow? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
so you're sending your kid to school on 4 hours sleep? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like I
can't function on 4 hours of sleep, and I have to.
But so. I always love the midnight runs too, where people will call, and you're going to their house. It's 3 a.m. And they're like, I've been thinking about whether or not I should call the police. And
it's been 2 weeks.
And it's just a report. There's no real physical crime.
Exactly.
They're not sure if they're a victim. And now, what? Now is the right time to call.
You know what? My boss said to call. When did this happen? About 2 weeks ago, and he told me to call like 3 days ago, and
I've been
thinking about it. Yeah. Well, it's 4 a.m. Like, what do you work midnights? No.
I'm just up.
No, I'm usually asleep by 10, but today is just really bothering me, and so I'd just like to make a report that
I just want it documented.
That yes,
it's like, sir, this isn't really a crime. I'm going to be honest with you. I just had this conversation a couple weeks ago. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. This is not going to be investigated on it in any way, shape, or form.
I let people know that.
This is I just want it documented. Okay.
Yeah, I don't even argue.
Now I work in a jurisdiction where you take that report.
Absolutely.
The last place I came from, I would have told them, no.
Right.
I'm not taking a report. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
And then they would go in and complain, and then my boss would have been like, yeah, but that's not a police matter, so you can contact your lawyer if you'd like it documented.
Yeah.
You know, document that you called them, like, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I think
so
it's interesting
now,
how people have that concept, like, well, or it could be for anything, especially like if it's boyfriend versus girlfriend, or no, wife, ex-wife, ex-husband. You know, well, I just want it documented that she did this or that he did that. I'm like, I can document it for you, but I wasn't there for it. So literally, I'm just writing a bunch of nonsense on this report.
Just writing what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's not like this. When I write this report, it's all of a sudden going to be true. You know, because she's going to call me tomorrow. I go, well, even better. I should go, oh, that's funny because she called yesterday about the same thing, and so I've already done her truth on it. So which side should I take? You know, like you know what I mean? Like
I went to a call last week. Something like that, and my first busy day at my new department. Literally, I didn't stop working, like from the time that I started to the time that I worked
that
over.
Seems rare. Is that unusual?
It is rare, but we're talking like it was. I was like, what is going on?
Those are days where go ahead.
And you know, you're by yourself, and it's just like you're all stacked up, and just I'm like, what is happening? I haven't been this busy in a long time.
Isn't that weird? That's police work, though, right?
Yeah,
so weird.
But I got called to a stolen video camera report, or stolen camera report, and it was the situation where they're going through a separation.
Of course.
And well, I put up a video camera in the house, a security camera, because we have a common kid, and so I wanted to make sure that, you know, for the safety of my child, I documented everything that was going on. And I'm like, she lives here? Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell you right now, she can do whatever she wants with that camera.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you, like, sorry, buddy. Like, well, I just want to document. It was like, I just want to document it. All right. I'm going to tell you right now, this is not a situation where anybody's going to go looking for her. She's not going to be arrested for the theft of the camera. It's not a crime. The police aren't going to be involved. Literally, your attorney or yourself can come pick up a copy of the report, but it's just me putting on paper what you're telling me.
Yeah. That's not going to go anywhere.
And I said I would contact your attorney if there's a violation of, well, she's violating the court order because the camera has to stay up. I'm like, okay, I don't have an order from a judge to go arrest her for it.
Yeah.
So you know, like it's just, and they're happy. They're like, I just want to document it. Okay.
Well, what is it that, I guess this would be a question to people who aren't police officers, but that call the police. What is your expectation of the police? Because I think sometimes the expectation that people have and the reality of what we are able to accomplish are very different. So I look at it like,
hey, should we go live on Instagram?
I don't see why we wouldn't.
We can just prop it up right here. Let's see what happens. I'm living spontaneously, people. Spontaneously.
Why don't we do this? Hold on. Give me a second.
Do what?
Why don't we do this?
Oh, he looks like he's got an idea. I haven't seen him this excited in
why
3
is
months.
he taking his clothes off? That's weird. Well, I mean, that's not weird, but what's that thing on your back?
It's getting bigger.
Since the last time you took your clothes off.
What's happening?
Could we angle it down to face you guys?
I don't know. Can we? Do we have an angler? Do we have an angle bot?
Well, I won't see the comments.
Oh, you want to see the comments?
Yeah.
Well.
Oh, R.I.P. that idea.
Probably could still use that box right here so we could set it up against something. What do you think?
Sorry.
See what I'm saying?
If you need a box, I got plenty of them.
You want to just use the box? All right. Well, the box would jack it up.
Yeah. Take the box.
Could we?
Which one?
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Perfect.
I was going to throw it, then I was like, that's dumb.
That's always a bad idea if you're going to throw something with
not,
to me, because I guarantee
not the best idea. Oh my goodness.
So.
Well, this is dead space.
What is editing?
Man, look at that.
Edited around 30 minutes, 28 minutes.
So, the diversity team has taken a liking to one of the Instagram
Sillymander.
Sillymander
on Instagram.
Who she's actually pretty freaking hilarious. So
I noticed she tagged the diversity team, her actual account, because diversity team reached out to me and I was like, what can we do? And can we do something for her? And I'm like, do you know her?
Are you besties?
I'm like, as I looked at her account and I was like, she tagged the diversity team, and I was like, what are they? Is this lady local? Is she?
I think she's actually local, but she said, well, why don't you have a get together type thing? But why don't we do that?
Get like some guests in studio, like
or why could just bring
a fan, or just like a hangout? You mean
hangout?
Like a off the cuff hangout?
Yeah.
Pick a place and
Inception.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Holy moly.
Keep us up on the comments. I actually can't see the comments.
And I can't read it.
Sideways?
They're only,
Question mark? Because
Instagram doesn't change. Instagram doesn't change the orientation.
Waving and putting thumbs up. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I'm really well.
I'm sure Mike's just fine.
Good job,
I'm
Chip.
sure Mike's fine. Dave's here too,
Someone said nerd.
All right.
That's me.
What's up, Mike?
That was me.
Oh, wait. Product placement. I'm out of these anyway. I can't actually sell them. I don't have any. So let's pause for a second because I am drinking Black Rifle coffee that I made at home.
Mm-hmm.
Out of a clear
execute cop killers things backwards.
Yeah. This is my fancy.
Is that the
this is my fancy glass.
Execute the cop killers, like let them live. Like that's all, what if that's how it reads because it's backwards?
It's like a reverse anagram. It actually has the opposite message.
Officer Daniels said, "Bring me on."
He doesn't even. He doesn't even watch the show or listen anyway.
He doesn't
right?
listen to this podcast.
He's like our wives. He just doesn't
he's
listen or care.
He's like the people closest to us. All the people closest to us hate this podcast.
That's so true.
It's true. He's even going, I hate it.
I don't even like it.
Why are we here right now?
Why are we even doing
This
this?
is the worst day of my life.
Why not?
So anyway, Black Rifle coffee.
Yeah, it's. I'm drinking it out of a clear glass. We don't have whiskey today, but we are fancy in clear glasses with Black Rifle coffee.
We are.
And if anybody that's listening to the show wants to save 20% when they try it, they can use code Thin Blue Line. Pretty simple.
Nice.
Someone said, "Help me stop dipping."
Yeah.
Yeah, just start smoking. What?
Hey, I actually have we have a solution to stopping dipping on the way.
We do.
We do.
I mean,
I
we
was
do.
unaware of this.
Get grinds, baby.
Oh yeah.
Working on it. Working on it. All right, so we were
an awkward silence. As you
we
just
were
sipped your coffee.
Hold on. Yeah, normally we have a bottle opening. I don't have that, so we'll have the sipping.
It's so dumb. You even lift your little pinky.
It percolated in my mouth. For you guys on Instagram, we just decided like randomly to bring you guys live while we're recording our off the cuff podcast.
I'm pooping while I watch this.
Welcome to the show.
Do you ever
my audio
watch
sounds
something?
terrible?
Your audio sounds terrible.
It's not jacked up in my head, but
Yeah,
I think
now
you're
I'm starting to
peaking.
think it's you.
You're peaking a little bit.
I'm not talking loudly. There's no way I should be peaking this.
I'm just saying. I need to turn down some of your stuff. But
Turn down for what?
Turn down for what? Do the flabby try.
Flabby try.
all right, go ahead and talk now.
Checking 1 2. Checking 1 2. I still don't hear myself
Mic
very
check.
well.
Mic
I just
check.
sound like quiet and
You have a
echoey.
literal mic check over here.
All right, go ahead and talk.
Wicked, what? Okay, that sounds better.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
So
So it wasn't just in my head.
No.
Enough said. It wasn't just in my head.
I forgot.
It wasn't just in my head. I was
Okay.
right. You were wrong. Okay.
I forgot.
I was right. You were wrong.
Oh my god! you make it so that he can start talking just to shut him down again. You know what? That is just rude. Well done, Mike.
So we were talking about our week in review, and you were talking about. We got off on a tangent as usual.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to figure out
Look at
if
that.
you're.
I'm just gonna be lazy and just leave you guys like that
Okay.
the whole time.
If you're not a cop, why are you calling the cops to make a report that's not a report? Like who taught you that you should call the police for non-police stuff.
Well,
Where did that come from?
Well, you're taking a more annoyed view of that, but because really what we were saying
It's
was
annoying.
but what we were saying is really what it comes down to is people's expectations of what we can do and things that we really can't do. So when you call,
where did that come from?
Right, yeah. So if you call. Like for what was your example? Oh, a camcorder. A camcorder. I just said camcorder.
Camcorder.
Oh my god.
VHS.
Yeah.
Sony Beta.
So you have a beta. You have a beta recorder, and but you
shoulder rig. All the VHS
He's
on
like,
the side.
hold on, gotta change out. So that a guy had a camera in his house that was recording his wife. Either took it or destroyed it, or what? No, took it or it
took it somewhere. Right? She didn't want it up. He wanted it up.
Yeah.
The court documentation said that it was okay to have it up.
Which you never saw, right? Court
No,
documentation.
He sent
it was
me an
completely
email from his attorney of something. They never have court documentation, even though they say this is a court order. They never actually possess a court order.
Right. So for us, it's like, well, why are you calling? But people honestly think that for some reason you're going to be able to do something about that when it's shared property. And you know, 5 years ago when you were happily married, the camcorder in question was completely fine to be shared together. But all of a sudden, because they're separating or whatever, now it's like, well, but it's mine. And she took it. You know, it's like, so, you know, people, I think, again, have a different expectation. Oh, but we were talking about Sillymander.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about, should we have a hangout, right?
Should we
like,
have?
That's what led me to pop on Instagram Live. I was like, oh, we should just ask people if they'd like a hangout, like local here, like an off-the-cuff hangout.
Where would we do it?
Maybe we even do it like live, record the show live somewhere.
Yeah.
Like set it up and have a crowd. Like, you know, Dave and Chuck
where would we do that?
Drew and Mike used to do back in the day.
Yes, they did. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I don't know where we would do it, but
we would.
But we could do it wherever we want.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. It'd be nice to meet people and you know, just have fun. And I might even have a drink.
Well, now that you ditched your sponsor, you should. You're
My new sponsor's water.
All right. So, anything else for your weekend review? You're hanging your television with ghost cabinets. What did you call them?
No, floating cabinets.
Oh, floating cabinets.
Yeah. And I'm going to day shift October 13th.
Seems like ghost cabinets would work too.
God, that sounds way better.
How do they just float there?
But it sounds kind of spooky. Although it's going to be close to October soon. So yeah, these are ghost cabinets. Yeah, I'm hanging ghost cabinets.
There you go. Can you put all your VHS tapes in there in the cabinets?
my VHS, my laser discs. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's about it for me. Oh wait, do I do it in? You know what? I can't do it in Aaron Grievance because he's not here.
Okay, so I'm gonna interrupt you and say that people are telling me for me to do live streams on my own. They're talking about me in your live stream. Yes,
it was probably one person. It was probably
that one guy.
Probably
there's
your brother.
There's like 5 people
creating accounts. Different accounts just to say the same thing. You got a stalker, bro. That's what that's called.
What if it was actually labeled Stalker 1, Stalker 2, Stalker 3? It's all the same guy. He just keeps going.
UPP Stalker _1, UPP Stalker _2. I'm your biggest fan.
Oh my god, and that's what it is. I'm your biggest fan.
This is called The Hobbling.
Scary. Oh my goodness,
I love that movie, Misery. I'm gonna watch
that movie. No matter how many times I watch it, I will always still feel like the anxiousness of him trying to escape. Like no matter how many times I know what happens.
They did a great job with that.
It's
movie. Just a good movie.
We can review. Let's keep it. I'm gonna keep it fresh. The Greatest Showman. Have you seen that yet?
Yeah,
it was great,
dude. Our family has worn out the soundtrack. To that.
It's
been
ridiculous.
on constantly. And if Officer Daniels is still in here, he sent a video yesterday of him a couple days ago singing stuff from The Greatest Showman in our family group chat.
I gotta say, it's a great movie. It's a great family movie. I think it would be really good for little ones too because
he's still in there.
Is he still in there?
Yeah.
Because
tell him I can't bring him on because I don't have a way to bring him on to where like he would be heard or seen.
Yeah,
can't bring somebody on from Instagram
unless you bring the thing here. But then
it wouldn't work really well.
We need a microphone for that. Actually, there is a way that we could hook him up to it, but
not right now though.
You don't want to.
If you can figure it out. but we also have like a show to do.
I couldn't do video, but I could do audio with him.
Yeah, I can bring him on for audio.
Okay, I'll figure it out.
Daniels.
You two will finally meet.
Yeah, Greatest Showman. So when I went to shop for my TV, I was the salesman. So, and again, I'm not trying to crap on Best Buy because I actually buy stuff through Best Buy. And again, remember I had all my appliances. Remember how much trouble I had with delivery and stuff. Now, again, that's not Best Buy, but that's the delivery service. But so you know how there was a time where Best Buy, you went in there because it was the best place to shop. It was because people weren't working on commission. You got really good information. There were some real geeks as far as, TV geeks, sound stereo, car stereo, and that kind of went away. Like what, about 10 years ago, 8 years ago, that like went away. I don't know if it was because they had to balance, hours working or employment with the things that are going on the internet. It's easier to buy things off the internet, but that was good. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like there was people that were really informative, and then all of a sudden there was nobody informative at a Best Buy. Well,
right. It used to be, maybe this was just my perception. I feel like Best Buy used to be where each department had someone knowledgeable in that area.
Absolutely.
For that department, and now it's like,
yeah,
you might get, Kristen that's,
yeah,
working on her midterm project at high school, her senior year on the weekend, and you're like, hey, I'm looking for this sort of like technical thing, and she's like, okay, I think they're over here.
Yeah.
Isn't that the worst? Especially being a
They
nerd.
don't know anything,
but they're all
nice.
still very helpful. But they don't have that knowledge like they did 8 years ago or around that time, And so you're just like left suffering, like, ugh. And then you have to watch out for Slim Shady, the Xfinity guy, who's wearing his freaking Best Buy, attire. He's like,
Yes.
hey, oh look at the TV. This is the LG TV, and you're like, are you from Xfinity? Like, you got me.
Whoa.
Flabby try.
Do the flappy try.
Does that sound good to you guys, or is it
It's
too
too
loud?
loud. You're killing me. The flabby try. I dubbed a move called the flabby try. Mike's really good at it.
What is going on?
That was horrible.
I think Daniels, if I brought him on, would sound too crappy. So
Oh, dude.
Crappy or crabby?
crappy and both.
Oh,
Both.
So I went to a Best Buy after work, and I started talking to a guy, and he was a throwback. This guy,
Hey, wait.
was great with TVs.
Could they even hear that, or did I just look like a complete fool?
You look like a complete fool.
Oh, shoot. Well, that sucks. They didn't even understand
honestly,
the flabby try.
even with music, you still look
They
like
didn't
a
hear
fool.
that music at all?
That's even better. I didn't know.
Come on.
It's like you better dub it in, man.
That was funny.
Dude.
God, that
You
is
made me
funny.
look bad.
Oh, yeah.
You knew when you played that song I was going to
do.
do the flabby try.
Yeah.
You set me up.
You're welcome.
I'm a victim like Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I just sacrificed everything for that flabby try.
I sacrificed everything for nothing.
Okay, Best Buy, throwback.
Yeah.
This guy's
This
knowledgeable.
guy was great. He ended up selling me. I ended up buying.
Oh, they
a
could all
TV.
hear it. They could all
Okay,
hear it.
Oh,
good.
thank goodness.
I bought a TV and a
safe.
sound bar. So this guy's showing me. I was looking for a 75-inch. Problem with the 75 inches, my
You were looking for a 75-inch TV?
yeah,
Where are you trying to watch it from? Across the street?
Nunya. So.
Gee.
So I made Joyce
That's intense, dude.
measure the distance from the wall to where
Why
we
don't
would
you
be
just get a
sitting.
projector?
It's 8 feet 8 inches. So I'm like,
Your TV is as long as the distance to watch it.
No, you just like, hear me out. So I'm like at 8 feet 8 inches, and I'm like, my God, I have to actually move my head. I'm gonna
It's
get
like the front row at the theater.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm like,
Ow.
I don't
Ow.
know, but I still hadn't
Is
ruled
that
it
Darth
out.
Vader?
I can't see. So I can't
Well,
see.
we got a 55-inch TV. I got one for them.
Inch or inch?
55. I probably say inch.
You say inch.
Yeah, I say inch.
Ooh,
Inches.
that's awkward.
55-inch TV.
I like a fet long.
Okay. Anyways,
Bet
So,
Jared from Subway is getting a foot long.
we
right
do-
about
I bet he is. You know he is. So
you want to let us on that?
And it's really
What? Well, I don't think so.
I can go even worse. Or some mayo.
55-inch TV in the living room that we have is actually at first it was kind of like whoa, because it's so
whoa.
Because even going from like a 50-inch to a 55-inch is just like whew.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
so
75 inches.
So
that's a big TV.
Well, my brother. Well, again, here's where the story it changes a little bit. So my brother said, because my brother is 65, he goes, "You're never going to get a bigger TV and go, oh, I wish I went smaller. It's just not doesn't happen with TVs, you know."
Where do you draw the line on that?
Apparently, you don't draw the line because that was his standing order there.
You literally paint your entire wall
Some
with
people
like a
do.
white material and then put a projector
Some
up.
people do. But so I'm sitting there at 75
at what point
inches
do you start measuring it in feet and stop using inches?
You're right. At some point, you almost have to. Like they'll call it like 3.1s or something. You know what I mean? Like, but so I'm looking. I'm like, this 75 inches is pretty big, but I hadn't ruled it out. So the guy's showing me some Sonys. I ended up going with an X900F, which is a really nice TV. It's just a model of TV of Sony, and I went with a 65-inch.
Is it what is it? Is it plasma? Is it LCD?
It's a 4K wibble dibble
by Sony.
So yeah,
wibble dibble.
It's a wibble dibble. You know, it's the 4K
I've
wibble
heard
dibble.
good things about those.
Well, of course you have. It's a wibble dibble,
especially the 75-inch model.
There it is.
That looks good. The sky looks very real.
It's.
I feel like I could just jump
into
that
water. It's because
water.
it is real.
I could
That's
jump right
the
into
actual
that water.
sky.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, the screen is around the actual window sky. So
pull it away. There's a window there.
So you're like, what the hell was that for?
I've been bamboozled.
So I'm talking to the guy. He's really knowledgeable, and he ends up selling me this. And so we start listening to sound bars, and so
oh boy, you went with it. I have a sound bar. It was nice. Was it from you or was it from all the kids, Lige, that did the soundboard or the sound bar for us? I like that.
Yeah, it was my idea.
So it
was my idea to get the TV and the soundbar.
Well, that's the thing, right?
I love
when you mix
Roku,
this stuff together.
The Roku is great. Flow Grappling's right on Roku, man.
Is it?
Yes.
I have Roku.
I love it.
Well, maybe I'll do that then. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, you got to pay for Flow Grappling, but.
Well, then screw that. I'm poor.
I'm really sick. I'm
poor
sick
now
and
from
tired of. Speaking of
redoing my-
Xfinity, I'm really sick and tired of the fact that it's not more.
Wow.
Great
sentence.
I just had a stroke, okay? I'm sick. I'm ill, and you're going to mock me because I'm sick?
The left side of his mouth is hanging down, and you're trying to make fun of
I'm
him?
literally having a medical emergency, and you're mocking me.
And I think he'll be okay, but we'll see. God, what a jerk.
What a jerk.
What a jerk. What a jerk. you're like this. What a jerk. Anyway, onto the show.
Wait. I think it's my right side is supposed to be bad. Hey. I'm sick of Xfinity charging me for I don't need a home telephone line. It's cheaper to get a home telephone line.
It's sliding even more.
Yeah, no, we're trying to save money. I just want the internet. I don't you can watch everything
right
outside of that, but
it
was actually more expensive to have our level of internet speed than it was to add a phone line, like the triple play or something.
Yeah, yes.
We don't. It's not 1998. I don't have a home phone, you tards.
Yeah.
So can we just
weird.
drop the whole idea of your fast home phone
but
service?
The difference is this, though. You don't have to use that, though, right? I mean,
we don't.
So, like,
So
in
we
the end, just get it.
we did, but it's
I know.
dumb. Just leave me alone.
I know.
Xfinity.
I know. So I have this. So he's playing these great.
That's not funny. My dad had a stroke.
My dad had a stroke, with golf, and he's stroking.
That's not funny. I know somebody that has mental issues. I can't believe you said tar. I thought you were supposed to represent the best of society.
What is he, Nixon now? No, I'm not a crook.
I'm not a crook.
So the soundbar. So it's amazing how what an experience a soundbar brings, right? So I have a soundbar and a subwoofer.
Somebody said I had 3 strokes. Still laughing.
How accurate was it? Is that what I want to know? How well did I perform? Could I play someone who had a stroke in a TV series? That's how I want to know how well I did.
Oh my God. You know, I'll never get this story out either. So
Well,
anyway, soundbar, long story, short, long, whatever. I go with a soundbar. I went with a really nice soundbar.
Gosh.
Like, so I was able to downgrade, like I say downgrade to a 65-inch. I have a 50-inch TV. Now I have a 65-inch TV. But the money that I wasn't paying for a 75-inch, I actually was able to pour into this
We
soundbar.
rolled it into the soundbar.
It's a 7.1 Dolby. Like, it's ridiculous. And so we put it on a mode yesterday, watching The Greatest Showman, because we have it in 4K now.
This is the greatest show.
Yeah, so, and it sounded ridiculous.
From now on.
I was mixing those up.
Did you cry
What?
when that song was on?
From Les Mis? You just sang From Now On.
No,
That's from
Greatest
The
Showman.
Greatest Showman, dude.
Oh, you about
you're
to say
talking about-
Master? What?
I was thinking about touching myself.
Oh, you touch yourself?
Let's not get into it.
I was like, you're touching yourself right now, Mike. It's just like, oh, sorry. This hand gets away from me.
My bad.
You're talking about one of the final songs. Yeah.
Yes, it's toward the end when he like.
I think I teared up. I think I pretty much teared up during most of the movie.
You know when you'll tear up is not during the movie, but watch the YouTube video of him during rehearsals. He had a nose surgery. I don't know what it was that maybe the kids know because they went into the well of The Greatest Showman, like the backstories, everything.
Yeah.
They're in there, and he started singing the song, and like he started bleeding because he wasn't supposed to be singing his doctor's orders, and like he's singing the song with passion, and like everybody's singing, and you're like,
good Lord,
God, I just want to be
Did
a
you tell
singer
him
for
that
the rest of my life.
because he had the skin cancer? That was
Oh yeah, he
removed?
had a skin cancer.
He had
problem
skin
or something.
cancer up here, and he had it all a surgery to remove it all. And the doctor was like, he's like, I need to sing. He's like, well, you can't, or else you're gonna.
We watched it on
rip
vacation,
all
man.
open.
It was we watched 2 movies as a family on vacation. One
Hostiles.
was Hostiles. Great. I watched it again a couple nights ago. Hostiles. Watch
it.
that movie, dude.
All right.
It is good. And then The Greatest Showman.
That
I keep wanting to call it Master Showman. I don't know why.
I know. Well, I started. So I see The Greatest Showman, and I was like, I wonder how much of this is actually true. There's actually a lot of it that was actually like they touched upon. I did not know Barnum was. He was a very like in everything. You know.
Oh yeah.
He ended up serving in Congress. Didn't know.
Wow. I just jumped in volume, and it's not my imagination. 100% not my imagination.
So
now I'm too low again. Now I don't hear myself.
oh,
Okay,
Pete.
thank you. I think.
Shut up when it
For
happens
now.
next time.
For now.
All right. So the interesting thing was like my youngest kids, they're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, I went to the Barnum and Bailey Circus when I was a kid multiple times, and they're like, no way.
Like all of a
And I'm
sudden you're like
well, I'm
celebrity
he
status.
wasn't there,
Yeah.
but I'm like, yeah, I went. It used to be a thing, like
It was a big thing
a
back
big
in the day.
tent set up somewhere, and you would go to the circus.
Yep, absolutely.
That's not. Does that even happen around here anymore?
I feel like it does happen. Just
I remember
not
the
as often.
Shriners being outside running around with their hats and their little tiny cars and stuff.
So it was a big deal back then.
Huh?
So, you know that Tom Thumb, the little guy, we'll call him the midget.
Yeah,
He, I'll say that.
that's offensive.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
He, the real Tom Thumb guy.
Uh-huh.
He actually started the show when he was 4.
No way.
They advertise it as the smallest person walking on 2 legs or whatever like that.
Right.
So they used a 4-year-old who had a degeneration or whatever at the time. By 7, he was smoking and drinking for the crowds.
Are you serious?
That's what it said. And I was like, what? That's the side they did not tell you about.
Wow, that's the darker side of P.T. Barnum.
Yep. And what's her name? Jenny Lind
Uh-huh.
was an actual person. She was an opera singer from like Sweden or something like that. I guess like she was in this. They did tour like that. She was so big. She was like Michael Jackson big.
Like size-wise?
No, like famous wise.
Oh.
She was so big.
I thought she was maybe who they named.
She was
the phrase
so
after it's not
huge.
over
No.
to the fat lady sings that they might have been talking about Jenny
Well,
Lind.
maybe they could have, but I guess she was supposed to be really beautiful, had a great voice. I did look for like a recording of her voice. I could not find it because it's just like the early 1800s or whatever, mid 1800s. But when she came to the U.S. to tour, with Barnum, 40,000 fans there to meet her. That's like Michael Jackson status for that.
Huge for that,
especially
time
for that time
Think
frame.
about how slow information was to get out.
Absolutely.
You know, like
yep. And the first, was it the first show? There was like 20,000 people waiting for her. Like, I guess he made his
that's
money.
Huge. I had. We have like 500,000 people on Facebook, and I couldn't get 40,000 people to show up in one place.
Isn't that nuts? And so that's how I guess that's how famous she was. So when she was doing the show, she saw how much Barnum stood to make.
Uh-huh.
He agreed to pay her $1,000 a night for 150 nights of touring.
That's a massive amount of money. Then.
For that amount of money. But when she found out how much money he stood to make, she negotiated for more and got it. And her proceeds did actually, they say it quickly in the movie, you might not catch it, but she actually sent it back to the poor.
Yeah, she was saying, she says in the movie, like, she doesn't
and I guess
need
that
the money.
was her biggest thing. She didn't need money. She actually dumped it right
so,
back into.
Man, you really dove into this.
Well, it was all of a sudden I started reading. I'm like, "Ooh, this is interesting." This is very fascinating. Well, that is interesting stuff, though, right?
Too bad we can't get Hugh Jackman on the show.
We can. I'll call him. Give me a second.
My goodness, wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, he's got time for us.
Reach out to his agent.
Yeah,
tweet at him.
I don't have a Twitter.
You don't have a Twitter.
No.
What kind of millennial are you?
Twitter's for girls who want to.
I don't have a Twitter either.
Honestly, that's all Twitter is just stupid.
It's a lot of politics.
Also,
that's where I do my politics.
They actually do have good Vine threads though.
I haven't let up. I've been full gas pedal on Kaepernick on Twitter.
But yeah, my girlfriend doesn't even use Twitter anymore. She's like, it's just stupid.
I'm growing on Twitter, man. I've gone up a lot lately, but I've been more active on it.
Twitter's
like I said,
dumb.
Politics, entertainment, pop culture.
Yeah, that's
tweet about it. That's good. I mean, that's what it's for. Hey, what's your weekend review? Since we kind of went through Dave's weekend review. You've been running.
Lost 4 pounds so far.
Of
in
muscle.
A week. Yeah.
He's like, damn it. That's all I can lose now.
I have a wedding that I have to film tomorrow.
I told me you should
the wedding's tomorrow or Saturday?
Tomorrow.
Oh, I thought the wedding was Saturday.
No, tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Like around 6, and it's like an hour and a half away. It's around 6, and I'm going to be there till midnight.
Better get all your equipment charged up.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, he goes running. So I started, my weekend review is pretty straightforward. I actually, for the most part, really actually relaxed through the weekend. It was enjoyable.
Nice.
And then I decided that I was going to change up my jiu-jitsu routine and take away all the excuses, because it seemed like over the last couple of months that my schedule for, like the cop stuff, whatever, was really creeping up on jiu-jitsu stuff. And I have to keep my priorities straight, which jiu-jitsu is important. But, well, it's important to me anyway. But, if you have an opportunity to do something that's going to actually provide an income, well, I need to do that more than jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So it was becoming really easy to be like, well, I've got this going on during the, I can't go during the day or at night.
Which is what I'm doing. I'm sacrificing
Exactly.
the jiu-jitsu to get my house done.
Yes. Yeah. At night, now Josiah's back in full soccer season, and he's got, 2 or 3 games a week, and it's like those are always at night, obviously, and he's in school. The games are going to be in the evening. Do I want to just like not go to his soccer games ever? Like, oh, I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu instead.
Yeah, don't go.
So I'm like,
no,
okay.
seriously, don't go. It's stupid.
Don't go.
Soccer's boring.
Soccer. Oh, don't go to soccer.
Yeah.
It's football. Thank you very much.
Foosball.
Football. My Bobby don't play no foosball. The morning class, though, removes all those excuses. Like there's
except for that there's only so much time in a day, right? I mean, that's really the only thing you're doing.
Well,
is
that's
shifting.
just it. I'm having to go. Well, I need to go to bed a little bit earlier than I normally do, because normally I stay up till 1 in the morning or something like that, and,
right.
and sleep in till 8:30. So that's what I was doing, and now I'm like, okay, I need to be in bed like by 11 because I got to be up at 6, and I don't want to be a complete waste of space.
Yeah,
but it removes.
But you can be more productive during the day.
The whole day's ahead of me, so now I have no excuses.
Somebody commented on the stream. They were like, soccer sucks. And I said, their name was Mom Contos. I was like, Mom Contos, you suck.
Well, we do not say that to our listeners.
That is,
you're
treating my viewers very poorly.
I'm a rogue. I can do what I want.
But I agree. Soccer sucks.
They said that's true.
Well, you have a point. But I got to thinking from a life perspective. You know, when I do, and you know, you got to get up to go to work, right? When I did work day shift, I was fortunate to live very close to where I worked when I was working days, and roll call. You know, you would want to be in there. You know, it starts at 7. You know, I'm in there in uniform, 10 minutes, 5 minutes early, whatever. So I needed to leave home about 6:30 in the morning to get there, get changed, and be sitting there.
Yeah.
And no matter how late I stayed up, I managed, if I had to work.
One way or the other,
the alarm went off, and I got up, and I worked, and I was fine.
Yeah.
I lived.
Barely.
And all of a sudden, when it comes to doing something that is completely dependent on you being self-motivated or finding a reason
and more fun,
it's suddenly like, why would it be a chore then to get up at 6 in the morning to go do something that you love and is super beneficial for you?
That's a really good mindset.
Like, why would I be thinking, oh man, I got to get up at 6 to go to jiu-jitsu? Like, wait a second, I love jiu-jitsu, and I can get that workout in, and I've been struggling too to, like, I keep bouncing between 200 pounds and 202. Like, I've been, like, my body's adapted. You know, I've been doing this weight loss challenge and stuff with that. It's a good time to mention Relentless Defender Apparel and Milcore sponsoring this fitness challenge with me and Officer Daniels, this 90-day thing. Use code Mike the Cop at either of them for
they
discounts.
pay for all your steroids, right?
All of my human growth hormone has come from Milcore.
Right.
Right.
Obviously,
it's as quality as it comes. So
it's the pure stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right from a maple sap.
Right. They stick the tap in there.
Yep.
And
they tap it. And
actually, what they do is they tap inside a pregnant cow right into the cow fetus.
Right into the
uteral
linings.
All of the protein from the in utero calf mixed with maple syrup from a Canadian tree is fused together into what Milcore puts out in a bottle.
I heard that they actually use the DNA of mountain gorillas.
There's some experiments that have been done.
Not a lot of successful ones.
There's some proprietary ingredients that we can't discuss.
Okay.
Either way, proof is in the pudding. Look at my body.
Proof's in the custard. Look at my body. Look at this temple.
So yeah, they're doing this, and I'm just like, and I have the whole day ahead of me.
Yeah.
And
it's a great idea.
But that's how it feels for me. Is I just wake up and I'm like,
yeah,
I go for my run, and I'm like, wow.
It created a little bit of confusion on the home front for the shower scene when we get home, because now he's back at the house right now. And
so I get done.
Then he's out running. I'm coming home. Anna's been going in the morning with me.
She's been going. I saw her Instagram, and she's like, basically didn't know she was actually going to be able to survive waking up that early.
It's definitely different. Like when that first warm up that day, we're doing like races down the mats for like bear crawls or whatever.
How's how many people are? I mean, is there a lot of people? I mean, like
that first morning, there's like 8 of us.
That's not. I mean, again, that's
not
bad
some
at
mornings
all.
there's more. Some the next day, like the next one, there was a little bit less. It was like 6. But
that's what I was kind of trying to. I was trying to see if like maybe that's when like I was going to do like my gym workout, my weights workout in the morning, where I can't do that that early for jiu-jitsu. We don't do classes like that. Yeah. But like for working out, I was like, instead of staying after work, what about coming in early? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then I could shower at the locker, in the locker area, and everybody could watch me. What was something I said?
Yeah. Hey Jim, can you bend over and pick that up?
I'm just here to use the bathroom, Dave.
Yeah,
I'm nowhere near the shower area.
But yeah,
hot pursuit.
When I get done with my run,
stack on me, John.
The first thing I want to do is like go upstairs and just turn on just the cold water in the shower and just hop in there.
Yeah, something's wrong with his internal thermostat. He goes running 2 miles and he looks like he's about ready to. I think he's got heart issues.
Because at the end of the run, it's not like I'm just doing a regular run. I'm in a full on sprint at the end of the run. That way I like exhaust all my energy.
It's only 30 yards, but it's still a sprint.
Full on.
Nonetheless.
That last leg up the driveway is
I
not
understand.
easy.
I understand the body temperature thing because when I eat ice cream, I get cold. So I have to put on a flannel.
It's like the same thing. I don't drink coffee, but I'll drink hot chocolate. I sound like a little kid.
Hot cocoa.
But if I have that when it's like already kind of hot outside, I start to like sweat.
Oh, it'd be horrible. I wouldn't.
It's the same.
Who the
like,
hell drinks hot cocoa in 90
Who
degree
drinks
temperature?
This guy
Who drinks coffee right now?
out of a
It's the
clear
same
glass?
thing.
Not I.
Because
said
it's
the
from
fly.
Black Rifle. That's why I drink it.
That's why. Good for you.
I feel like I'm having
Wow.
a moment with my mic.
I guess so. Wow. Wow.
So anyway, I've been bouncing there.
Yeah.
It's like almost like over the last 3 months, my body has adapted to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people that don't know, when we started this fitness challenge, I weighed in at 210, but I had already been losing weight from like 228, 229.
Yeah.
So like I've lost 30 pounds at this point, and my body is like, okay, we're good.
And you haven't really done anything like you haven't made huge changes, have you? You've just
No.
you started working out. You did cut a couple things, right?
I changed the one thing that really worked for me, because I got down to like the 210 to 215 area, and nothing was working. Like it didn't matter.
It's crazy how that plateaus.
Nothing was working. So I made one change. I just kept. I would try something for about a week. Nothing fad. No fad anything.
Right.
Just
keep away from the
trying
fads.
to tweak what I was doing, and what worked for me, because I was what I said about losing weight. I'm not counting calories. Like I'm like people in the 1700s were somehow able to remain in decent shape.
Right.
They didn't have calorie counting apps. They didn't get out their fountain pens.
Yeah.
And dear self, today I consumed 2 raw chicken eggs.
What if they did? And there was a hugest
Dude.
thing.
I want to see this. I want to
What?
search it up.
Anyway,
Consumed a truffle. One truffle.
while out hunting mushrooms, I did notice one made me feel very awkward and see giant spiders falling from the sky.
What if
I have noted the location and have begun to sell them to my local patriots.
what if like it again, it's just like the food app, so like it's not just meat, it's like the kind of cut of meat, or it's not just a candy bar. It's what kind of candy bar, the calories is like.
Right.
Ate one of Goody Johnson's sweet truffles. Sweet springtime truffles. Like that's just how they gauge it,
Funny.
It's so stupid.
I awoke for my workout, was trampled by my horse, and struck by lightning out in the field. We'll try again next week.
Slowly woke from my slumber.
It has been a fortnight since exercise has been a possibility due to losing my right leg in the war.
Dude, I told you that I have a relative when I was doing like a lot of work on my family tree. One of my relatives, because I was said before, I come from Scotland all the way through South Africa and into the
South
US.
Africa?
Yeah. So we missed the entire Civil War. Missed it because I was too busy. My family was too busy in South Africa.
Doing what?
Yeah. One of them owned.
What were they doing
One of
there?
them owned an ostrich farm. That was a huge thing back in the day. Isn't that weird? It was
Can you imagine just breeding
Come on
ostriches?
down to Dave's ostrich farm here in South Africa.
They're an Australian.
It's close enough.
Now you just sound like a robot. What are you doing?
It's close enough at the ostrich farm. We pull their heads out of the ground. That's a myth, right? They don't really do that.
Google ostrich farms. I want to know if they're still around today.
Do ostriches really put their heads in the ground?
I don't know. Just because my family owned an ostrich farm doesn't mean I'm.
You should know all about this.
Contrary
I can
to
tell you a little bit
popular
about
myth,
Artem.
ostriches do not bury their heads in the sand. When an ostrich
he looks that
senses
up.
danger and cannot run away, it flops to the ground and remains still, with its head and neck flat on the ground in front of it.
That explains why you do that.
Because
when
the
you get scared.
head and the neck are
does,
lightly
doesn't it?
colored, they blend in with the color of the soil.
Do they still have ostrich farms? So one of my
course they do.
relatives had a
You probably have the rightful claim
in South Africa.
to.
In South
Oh.
Africa.
Dude, how cool would that be that you actually are part
There's
owner
one-
of something that you could be making money off of, an ostrich farm?
I don't want to make money off of
There
ostrich
are
farm. I just wanna know
there
I
are
have one.
2 ostrich farms in Ontario, Canada.
Yeah,
let's go.
It used to be a huge
road
thing.
trip.
And there's one.
Like their eggs and stuff too, and like it was.
We
a
can
big deal.
swing by there after we go to the Real Robot brothel in Canada.
Oh,
right?
that's right. Hello.
Oh no, never mind.
Sounds
This
like
is a restaurant.
This is shaping up to be a winning trip.
Well, look up
An ostrich farm and a
South,
lifelike
South
robot
Africa.
brothel.
So he had one, and he lost the use of one of his arms because he got kicked by an ostrich.
No way.
I know. How do you find stuff like that out? Yeah, right. So, and that's
You've got a lot of time for research.
So that's what I'm hoping.
The
So that's what I'm hoping
between
for.
the Greatest Showman and your family tree, you've been busy, my friend. Been really digging into history.
I like to dwell in the past. So
so much nicer than the now.
Oh my god, this is so ridiculous.
What I did, the change that I did was I just eat 2 meals. That's what I. That's the change. And what I would do is
because you're just not consuming as much crap.
Ultimately, it's a caloric thing, but I also have recognized that not all calories are created equal, right? So
right.
I'm not eating garbage when I eat. I'm trying not to.
Look at that.
Nice.
Ostrich farm.
Safari.
None of them have their head in the sand. Oh, I could build that.
Look at that. They just
Did the
there's
ostriches
eggs
build
right
that
there.
themselves?
Of course.
Go
they
back to
did.
that. Oh, wow, look at that.
Did it's all perfect.
Do they use their beaks and line that up?
They use their.
I wonder
feet.
if they have evolved to set up.
Oh, look
shelter
at that!
For their
You
eggs.
see, there's eggs under there.
That's
Yeah,
what I just
that's what I'm
pointed
saying.
at.
I'm assuming the ostriches have evolved to build that since evolution is true.
Obviously.
Ooh,
Ooh, I want to talk about that.
After millions of years, you would think ostriches could build some freaking shelter.
is that
Look at that.
cooked ostrich?
Look at that. Isn't that amazing? I said
Did you say ostriches are staring through the
Safari
window?
Ostrich Farm.
They're like, well,
Whoa! What is this place?
there's
What is
Richard.
going on?
I
What
know.
are they killing them to make handbags?
oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can ostrich. Yeah, for sure. Why wouldn't you?
Oh, that was a really close-up shot of some food.
God, it looks good. Really good.
Ostrich
though.
meat.
So wait,
Oh, look at
So
that.
anyway, before we get on to evolution,
which I want to get onto. Real
I don't know
quick.
why, but we'll talk about
Yeah,
that.
why not?
So, I changed to 2 meals. That was significant. I didn't completely eliminate a third meal. Usually, what I'll do is put some almond milk and protein powder from Milkor in there, and I would just do that. If I got really hungry, like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, a handful of
Nuts.
raw almonds
Yeah.
or something like that. Something that's not bad but good fats.
That's
Something like that. And,
well, that's really the way. I
and
mean, that's
been-
huge.
That's been good, but
Good.
I froze, and I'm just trying to figure this out. And exercising on an empty stomach in the morning, like I just drink a glass of water when I get up and go to jiu-jitsu, and I lost 2 pounds in 2 days just exercising on in a fasted state. I hadn't eaten, for 12 hours.
yeah.
Like eat dinner, don't eat at night,
Yeah.
and then that's good. The next thing I'm going to try sometime between now and the end of the competition is like a 2 or 3 day fast, like a more extended fast.
Wow.
Instead of, because I did intermittent fasting for about almost 2 weeks, where I had a 14-hour window of no eating. It made no change.
Sounds horrible.
It wasn't, because I just did it in conjunction with sleep,
Yeah.
but it made no change. I couldn't tell you why. It just didn't.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to experiment with fasting in different increments, just at one time,
See, I've
and
never
then break
been a
the
big
fast.
guy. Like as far as fasting, I've never been. Like some people are like, oh, I felt great after it. I'm like, I just never felt. I think the only reason people feel good after fasting, again, this is just a personal opinion. I mean, that in science, is that you're just not eating as much. So like your stomach's not going to be as full. But I never was like, oh, so glad I did that. Do you? I mean, do you get
I did.
that?
Well, I did a.
Do you get that faster's high?
Yes.
I'm coining everything today.
Yeah, you are. I did a master cleanse years ago, probably like.
That's called a colonoscopy.
That's right.
And you could have used a doctor to do that.
What are those?
You didn't have to ask me.
Not a colonoscopy.
I mean, we're friends, and I did it.
I did it.
I'm just saying.
because I care. Didn't like
I
it.
remember you doing that.
Yeah,
I can't believe how
remember
much
it.
stuff I missed.
That was a 10-day fast.
I was like
where
10
you
years
had
old.
like
yeah. Oh yeah.
you could drink as much as you wanted of the concoction. Like it had grade B maple syrup,
Yeah, right.
lemon juice in there, whatever else. And so that I mean
I know
felt,
people do that.
I
Yeah,
felt
they-
good during that time. I think it was too much. It was way too long. Didn't
Yeah.
need to go that long.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like if there's a routine that sort of like resets. Is it helpful? I'm just literally experimenting on myself.
That's all you put inside the.
Yeah. What if I did a 24-hour fast? That's it. What if I did a 48-hour fast?
So are you trying to do it to kind of re-kickstarts like?
I'm trying to do something different that's not drastic to my body.
What's your water intake?
A lot.
Because water, well, I mean, yeah, right. There's, that's not a gauge, but, because water helps me lose weight, also.
Yeah, no.
I mean, obviously that's goes without saying.
I've got to be somewhere in the neighborhood of a gallon a day.
Yeah, you could drink more than that. Honestly, I think you can even drink more, and I said that stuff really supposed to.
You're supposed to rest. You sleep better at night when you've had a lot of water too. Like even though you would think like you would get up more at night.
I would get up more at night.
No, I get up more at night too.
I seriously would get up like 8,000 times
before I go to sleep. I will chug like a bunch of water, and then
If I did that, I would never sleep.
Dude, I'll wake up and it's like I have to pee so bad, but I find a way to fall back asleep.
How long have we been going?
We've been recording for about an hour 16.
Well, we're not done yet.
Supersized episode here.
Yeah,
again. We've been delivering overtime.
I got to talk about Angelo real quick.
Okay, we can talk about Angelo. This is the airing of grievances.
Well,
but
we technically can't do it, so I'm just going to continue the week in review.
We made a rule about the airing of grievances. If you keep up with the podcast, we made it off show. The rule I think is fair. You can't air grievances about someone that's not here to defend themselves.
But in the original airing of grievances, did the person have the opportunity or the ability to defend themselves, or do they have to just listen to the grievance?
No, yeah, you can defend themselves.
I'll roast you real quick, Dad.
You'll what?
You constantly in videos and during the podcast get these little things where you get like a half burp, and you're like. And you just like you try to hold it in.
He's getting older. We're
while
gaseous.
You keep talking, like, dude, just freaking burp, man. Just do it.
Sorry.
I didn't know we were gonna start out running on this.
Yeah. There you go. It's irritating to have to edit you out when we're recording videos, and I have to edit out.
Oh wow!
I have to edit out.
It's an airing of a grievance.
It's an airing of a grievance.
But I think he started early because I was still in the week in review because I want to talk about Angelo. Because it's just something about
you're using the week in review as a way to circumvent.
Yes, and I think that I'm well within my right because we talked about it last week.
Okay,
and I'm just answering. So last week, Angelo, it came out that I had blocked Angelo's wife on Facebook, right? Which still cracks me up because it was funny because he was like, "Wait, what?" And he didn't remember any of that, which was funny, but. Because when you retell the story, it makes it even funnier. But so again, recently we have become Facebook friends again. Which I don't understand why he doesn't just have his own, because he's very active on it. So I don't know. Have you ever noticed? He's actually very active.
He's the active one on there. I think maybe.
No, I think he actually is. So I don't know why he's doing a screen name. I don't know why he's doing it. But I had unfollowed him. His wife, I don't know, who did I unfollow? I don't even know, because they had made some spoilers about a TV show. So he put out a Facebook invitations to his son's first birthday. And so if you hadn't watched last week, this is actually a pretty funny episode, blah, blah, blah. But so here we are, fast forward, is the reason why I didn't get it supposedly was that because I had perpetuated my own problem by unfriending him, so I didn't get the invitation. But what's funny is there's two funny things on that. Why is it that he only utilizes Facebook to put out invitations to his son's first birthday? Because if Aunt Maud isn't on freaking Facebook, he's got to somehow come up with a secondary list, wouldn't you think, right? Unless he goes, no, I only use IG and I only use Facebook. That's the only way I invite people.
They'd probably just have to call him.
Right. So, but he still has to come up with somehow a secondary list. Now, I'm fine if I'm not on that. I'm totally fine with that. But do I perpetuate?
He's really not.
No,
fine.
I am with that because I can't expect that he's just going to remember me. That I honestly don't. But what was weird was when the diversity team listened to that part, she goes, "What?" She goes, "No." She goes, I'm friends with her on Facebook and have been friends with her for a long time. Still friends, never blocked her, and I never got the invite. So I was like, no. You're in trouble. And I hit up Angelo, and he's like, can't we just let the past be the past? See? So he was had on that one.
We've aired our grievances. Let's let bygones be bygones.
Let's just water under the bridge.
Just get a fresh start.
Yeah. So that's not an airing of grievance. That's just a correction to Angelo's all-out lies and
it's kind of a
it's borderline
airing
man.
of grievances.
But it is.
And I think in this case, if we go to the diversity team for approval, she's going to be biased.
Whoa! She's the diversity team.
She can't be biased.
She can't be biased.
I think she would allow it.
So because the diversity team will allow it, this is going to stand.
The ruling in the studio stands.
It's funny that she doesn't even ever have to even be here. she just approves everything.
Yes.
So that was. So that's again not an airing of a grievance. Nope. Water under the bridge.
Water under the bridge.
But
oh no.
So. Yeah.
Okay. So we did the weekend review, extended edition. Are we going to go to in the news? We did airing of grievances. Elijah criticized me for having a burping issue. Again, I have a medical condition.
Right.
You want to mock that? That's fine.
And literally had a stroke on air. No big deal. And he didn't care.
Still powered through because I believe in the show.
Yeah.
So, and we're going to end the news.
I guess. Yeah, were you
and they
thinking
can hear that on Instagram?
I don't think so.
Were you thinking that we might
how are they
break?
able to hear the other music?
Probably because of the headphones that are next to it.
Oh, weird.
Were you going to suggest doing another episode or something?
No.
Or? Okay. So yeah, we're good then.
No, we'll just do this one because I'm trying to get some guests lined up for next week that we can hammer through. I actually think we can get 2. McDojo Life said he can do next week, and then Graham Allen said next week. So we could do 2 episodes next week and have 2 different guests and good shows lined up.
Do I have to change my pants?
No, you don't even have to wear any.
I'm not wearing them now.
Perfect. That's why I only have one hand on the table right now.
I know. Oh man, in the news. Wow. Well, you did in my opinion, a fantastic, and this is not because you made it fantastic, but you did a great interview actually yesterday.
I really enjoyed it.
Can you tell me a little bit about it? And you can send them that way. Honestly, I was listening to
Colin Kaepernick is in the news.
And this
Nike is in the news.
This is huge, right? This actually is it's a big deal, but it is in the scope of life. Hopefully, it's a nothing, right?
No, it's
honestly
dominating.
But it's dominating the news
social
feeds
media right now.
So tell me a little bit about your guest that you had on yesterday. I got about a little halfway through it's only like 45 minutes through it, and I loved it. I thought it was really good. There was so many good points were brought up. So tell me a little bit about.
Yeah, well, I knew that I wanted to talk about the Kaepernick thing, and I knew that I wanted to do it sooner than later, right? Because this is how it is, right?
Yeah.
This is my life on social media.
Right.
I ride the waves that it gives me.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
So it's like you get out your little Twitter surfboard or whatever it is, and you hop on and you hope that you catch a wave, and you're able to say something valuable when stuff pops up. So, and the first person I thought of was Brandon Tatum, because he was a cop out in Arizona. He left full-time police work to take a job in media, and he's doing a phenomenal job with that. But his first viral video actually was about Colin Kaepernick and when he first knelt.
Yeah.
And so here comes a black male that was at the time still a police officer contradicting the reasoning Colin Kaepernick was claiming to do it, which people have forgotten. People have morphed it into something else and forget the original reason out of his mouth as to why he was doing what he was doing. And it was directly involving law enforcement.
Yes.
So this wasn't an issue of veterans. This wasn't an issue yes, I think it's disrespectful to not stand for the anthem, whatever. So people thought this was like a slight to the armed forces, which maybe it is in terms of the disrespect in that process. But the reason he was kneeling had to do with law enforcement. So here comes Brandon Tatum, also was a collegiate football player, and was in the NFL draft. He didn't get drafted, but I mean, this guy knows football, and knows policing and understands what it's like to be a black man.
Yeah.
So he had this viral video that wasn't, I was like, oh, and so he came to mind. I was like, if he would be willing to come talk to me about this, what a great person to talk about these issues, right? Because it takes if I just have another white dude on there talking about it, unfortunately, it doesn't matter how
much. Some stuffy old white guy.
You two white guys that, like pretending like you understand what Colin Kaepernick goes through, which,
again,
Colin Kaepernick got raised by white people, but not that that's really the issue, but so I actually wanted his perspective. He's studied this issue or stayed on this issue a lot more than I have. He's sort of like, he's really in that world about lies being fed into black communities that keep them in a perpetual state of victimhood, rather than addressing real issues in that community. And so, I felt like I wanted someone that could speak to that from that perspective on there, and I enjoyed the heck out of the conversation.
So for people who are ostriches and bury their head in the sand,
which doesn't actually happen,
which
non-existent,
which does not actually happen, unless they're dead, and then I suppose you could do whatever you want to them, even if it's weird.
But that's how ostriches are buried. That's probably where it came from. Just their heads are buried.
It's always been a traditional, a ritual, I should say.
Well, it started with your ancestors when they would bury them on the farm. That's how they buried them.
Well, that's actually, they say how the again, because we were talking about my ancestor and got kicked in the arm and lost use of his arm.
I don't know how you find this out.
I know, but right from the horse's mouth. Wait, ostrich. So. But that's how the ostrich died, and he was so angry, he only buried the head, and so there has been a tradition ever since.
And that, my friends, is where the saying came from.
Yeah, where you bury your head.
You
in the
heard
sand.
it here.
Yeah, you heard it here first and last. So Kaepernick is in the news again. More so, it would be Nike, I think, because he's kind of like this a backdrop, right? So there was again, it was a great interview where it's really all about timing, right? So NFL, the games are starting again, and it's a good opportunity for...
Yeah, timing is not coincidental.
Right. So here we are again. Football season's happening, and Kaepernick's does a Nike ad, and what does it say? I forget what, even if it's...
Believe in something, if it means you have to sacrifice everything.
Can you guys see the screen?
Some to that extent.
Yes.
Look at that drop in the Nike stock.
Yeah. I mean, it went down, 3 points or whatever.
Well, it's coming back up.
Well, it'll go.
It seems like it's just going to stay at a low level for a while.
Yeah, it may stay there. But, so...
I was reading... I see. I was confused because I saw the 1 day, 5 days, all that stuff. So I understand it now.
So I was...
Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything.
So What's interesting, and when I was reading an article about it, somebody said it really well. Who is one of the investors or one of the shareholders, and he said, the problem that I have with this basically is that advertising is supposed to make you money. And so why it is that Nike decide, because again, I'm not sure exactly what they were hoping for on this, because were they so blind that they thought that social justice is a majority? Because if that's the case, then they're completely wrong. That's not the case. So it would have been a horrible advertising move. But you're literally betting $4 billion worth of company on whether this is a good ad or not. I don't know. I mean, I get it. You don't want to always be safe when you do advertisements, if you will. Yeah. But this just seemed like again, the timing I think is is fine because it's the NFL season and Nike has a contract, is from what I understand. But in the end, if you put out an advertisement and you lose money on it, it's time to pull it. Right, and I don't know if they want to become, again, because I can't speak for them, because it's almost like corporations have become an entity or a pedestal for
believe in something, even if it means sacrificing half of everything. Thanos.
But I don't know if it's if corporations are trying to make such an impression where it's like if they're wearing the swoosh, right, then they're speaking on or representing that change, that kneeling.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So if you're part of that rebellion, if you're wearing Nike, meaning like that social justice rebellion.
Well, I think
you're doing
they
that in the long run,
they certainly want to solidify that crowd. I mean, like we're divided on political lines. It seems like, right, as a society, it's like you're one or the other, and I think they just like hedged their bets and said, we're going to choose this side. This is where we're going.
Again, it's just such a, don't you think it's so odd that, like, again, if you, again, I don't know what would cause them to make this besides like kind of living on that advertising edge. And again, I can even understand that part of it. But anytime you start going with political lines, you know, political, moral, whatever kind of lines you want to talk about, something that was so big, you risk the payoff. When has the payoff ever been that big? If something's so divided.
End the live stream?
What?
Yeah, it ended on mine.
My phone overheated and shut down. Wow. I'm gonna shut my phone off for a little bit.
You know what you could do? You could send them over to mine if you show me how to do it.
My phone won't work.
Okay.
My phone's overheating just from being on that live stream for so long.
That's hilarious. That bad, huh?
Feel it.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Feel it? All right. Yeah, that's hot.
It's hot.
So
okay.
I guess I get confused because now you have a company that's at this point in time, $4 billion or roughly. That's not a good advertisement. Like I'm just wondering,
right.
like, do you stick to your guns in that?
Well, they're going to have to stick to their guns. They can't back down now.
Right.
Right.
It's just so weird to me. Like, why?
Because
you know,
every single person, if Nike backed away from this and then put themselves in the position where, like, no, we support everybody, everyone's going to know at this point, like, nice try, Nike. Now you can't play us like that. Not going to happen.
But that's the thing, is they can.
Well,
it's advertising.
They'll play some people.
It's advertising. They can. They absolutely can. So they can switch gears and let this lie. But you know what I mean? Like, I guess I'm just confused as to why the risk and reward isn't. It's not there for an advertisement that's controversial. Controversial advertisements are in and of themselves, I don't think, very fruitful. Yeah. I just can't imagine that ever being a fruitful thing. So what is it then? Is it them actually just trying to take a political side or some kind of a moral side, but they're a company. So I just don't understand the concept of that. It's like the whole idea of kneeling in the first place on the job is absolutely absurd to me. Now, I think that you look at people who kneel. I can't do that at work. I'm on the clock. That's stupid. Like, I have to act professionally. I would expect that out of anybody. You know what I want from my football players? Dance for me. Wear your pretty colors, catch a ball, and dance in the end zone. That's all I want from you. You mean nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. So your opinion doesn't matter. Dance for me. That's what I pay you for. Dance. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's it. So I don't understand why these people think that it's so self-important, right?
Right. Well, we kind of got into this yesterday in the conversation, which was, if you really wanted to make change, why aren't you actually then off work, leading the charge in a productive way that brings real dialogue between people that you think are a problem in society, aka cops,
right,
and the communities? Why don't you rally the fans in a positive way outside of the game to do that? Well, some people are saying, well, they got to get your attention somehow. See how much attention this has gotten? That's why it works.
Attention means nothing.
Yeah, but
it doesn't work for
negative
anything.
attention doesn't help. Like all press is good press. Nah, kinda, maybe.
Yeah.
But are you really being productive?
But that's not affecting change.
What change have you brought about? You know, and this is something I did in the conversation that you're listening back to. Did we talk about the difference between Colin Kaepernick and real civil rights leaders?
My guess is that I was within 2 minutes of that because there was a kind of a lead up to that.
So he brought up a really good point, and he helped me frame it in. Like we talked about this in our group text too. Like it's so irritating to see him being compared to real people that actually fought for real civil rights, right?
Absolutely.
And he brought up a great point, which is that the difference is even not just on principle, as far as like the idea of wanting to have something fixed in society that you think is broken. That's fine.
Right.
The difference is what is the clear goal and timeline and reasoning for your protest.
Right.
Like what is it that has to change that the protest means something?
Right. It's like a business plan, right? Really?
Yeah, like okay, let's take a real civil rights issue. You couldn't drink out of the same drinking fountain, right? This is a human rights issue.
Right.
Like, okay, so we're going to do this. We're protesting because this particular issue is definable. We have reasons why we're against it. We have reasons why we believe that this is illegal, this is immoral, this is unethical, this is unconstitutional. Any of those things, like this is the problem. This is what we're going to do peacefully to protest this, and we're trying to bring about change. And what is the change? When we can all drink out of the same fountain, because that's the right thing to do, right? So,
but there's a baseline of wrongful acts, though, right? That's
correct. There's something
that's where
identifiable,
the difference is, right?
There's something identifiable
and legitimate.
And the other thing he said was, which was brought up a great point, is blacks and whites worked together on civil rights.
Right.
Abolishing slavery, the right for black men to own property and vote, all of desegregating schools. All of these were issues that were worked on together, not by creating division. You didn't solve the segregation problem by creating further division. You solved it by taking steps that actually created further unity. And so in this scenario, all of these quote-unquote protests by the NFL players are not creating unity and not creating identifiable problems with identifiable solutions that we're actually coming together on to do anything about.
But that's because it's an illegitimate.
It's not a real
baseline.
Reason.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, the baseline doesn't exist.
Right.
And so, and you guys talked a little bit about numbers. He definitely talked about numbers. I don't have to get into them because if you think there's a problem, great. Because really the idea is of believing there's a problem a lot of times it can be either in your head or it can be real, right? So you can contrive it and think that it's a problem and it's just really not, right? Like, oh gosh, I hate I hate folding socks. Is that a real problem? Maybe it is. To some people it is. I don't know. But so sometimes problems are contrived. In this case, the wave of people concerned is or the concern for it or the idea of it being a concern, the wave is here while the stats are down here. And so that's why it becomes off balance. And he brought up a good point where he was talking about like civil rights leaders, right? So really there's money in social justice, right? It's kind of like the government has the idea of the government, the government doesn't offer anything, right? The government takes. And so the only thing that they can offer is help, right? Saving. And so the only to empower a government, they have to be able to offer a solution to something, or in the end have to, if there's no problems, they have to contrive a problem in order to save people. Because if you don't, then you're not going to get your politicians aren't going to get reelected, and it's just going to be a real issue, right? So a lot of times that saving people becomes a service of the government, or at least the idea of it.
Right.
And that's a problem. That's a huge problem because, again, it's in our heads as to what kind of help people really need. And I'm not talking about people who are extremely down on their luck and all that other stuff. We're talking about, again, an issue of, say, police officers shooting unarmed black people. You know, how often, Mike, do you come in contact with somebody who how often do you come in contact with a normal everyday citizen where they're like, dude, you are a racist pig? Never happens to me. I talk to people of every race, color, religion, sexual orientation, and I would say 95% of the time, at least, of normal everyday citizens are kind people.
Yeah,
they seem
there's no
legitimately happy to see me when I'm there or passing by or just in conversation. It's like, where does this become an issue?
Yes.
Where does it become a problem? Where when I'm telling you as a police officer, when I'm in uniform and I'm talking to just everyday people, and I'm not even people at police runs who call me, they don't have a problem with me. They don't have a problem with my tattoos. They don't even look at that stuff on me. You know what I mean? Like, so even the idea of judging me as a guy who looks like he could be the skinhead type or whatever is not even in their minds. Well, at least if it is in their minds, it's in the back of their minds. And it's like Tatum said, like, there could be racists, but we don't live in a racist society.
Right.
So, yes, in fact, there could be somebody who has problems with people of any kind of color. They just don't, because it is not appropriate anymore. They don't act on it, right? So, and he was talking about the burning house thing, right? Mm-hmm. But I thought even more kind of to that point was if my shed was burning, I don't know of anybody. If my shed was burning, I don't know of anybody. I think even in Detroit, most people would be like, "Dude, let me help you get that shed out." You know, like, let me help you put that out, and they wouldn't go, "White boy, I'm not helping him."
Right.
Who does? No human, because we're humans. It's such a fraction nowadays.
The issue
especially.
Is, I love having these conversations. Where it touches on race. A friend of mine from he goes by Oh No It's the Popo on Instagram. He's a Columbus cop, very well spoken. He's been invited to like Harvard multiple times to speak on community policing. He's on the governor's like a board in Ohio for community policing. So this dude is like legit, and his account is not necessarily for humor, that kind of thing. It's more highlighting like community policing stuff.
Yeah.
Or what is, I should say, broadly understood as community policing, because I don't think that just shaking hands and kissing babies is what community policing is all about.
No, it is. We know it's not. That's absolutely not all.
That's what it's called. I guess I'll just use it that way. And so he hangs out with the neighborhood kids. Like, he just took 2 kids to Cedar Point. He made a deal. Like, if you get on the honor roll, we'll take you to Cedar Point, me and my partner. And they did. They took two teenage boys that worked hard and got good grades, made good on their promise, that kind of a thing. So, and he works in the inner city in Columbus. It is what it is. It's mostly black. It not because I invented that.
Right.
It's true.
Because it just happens to be a fact.
So, anyway, so he has this kid, like, and he's like, all right, I'm going to call out the dances, and you do the dances. Like, and he puts this on Instagram. And some ladies, like, as an educator and proud African-American, I'm sure your intentions are good. But enough of making black kids dance for, shucking and jiving. Like, it's not cool in our circles.
Oh, my God.
She stopped talking when she was confronted with the fact that, oh, do you know that he has one black parent? The cop? He's mixed. Do you understand that?
It's like,
oh, so the narrative that I'm pushing doesn't apply here. But
again, why is that even an issue?
Thank you.
Oh my God!
Why you're making it an issue where it doesn't exist? Like, okay, so now, who really is being the racist?
Right.
When a cop and a kid want to dance and have fun, you're making it about race.
Well, because that's your focus. That's your life. That's the world that you live in, is believing that everybody is out to get you, right? But the
victim culture.
Honestly, but that's the government helps with that, right?
That's where we went yesterday, which is like certain people end up in power, and this isn't a conspiracy theory thing. This is a human thing.
Absolutely.
It's a human. People in position of power like to get people want power, people like to keep power, and sometimes that thing distorts how we treat other people because we want to retain the power and authority.
100%.
That's not a race thing, that's a people thing.
Yeah.
Because there's black people that do it, aka Al Sharpton, the quote unquote heavy eye roll Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Yeah.
Dude, Louis Farrakhan. Hello.
Wow. Right.
There's people that make a living off of perpetuating racism.
You talked about that,
And
actually.
there's a group of politicians, both sides,
Absolutely.
that pander, do whatever it takes to retain the position of power and authority because they want the power and authority. And both sides promise, even the Republicans, who are supposedly small government, spend their entire campaigns promising things to make change, to deliver what you want. It's super ironic to run campaigns on the idea of smaller government while you're promising the government to make change.
Right.
It happens on both sides, but this is not a conspiracy theory. This is just human fact. This is the reality of the world we live in, and we have to. Why can't we just accept it and then live in reality of it?
Also, we need to kind of hurry up before this iPad dies. Just letting you know.
Well, can we switch to the other computer if we need to?
Yeah, it's just we've been going for almost 2 hours.
I
now.
love it.
Good.
We're getting to the meat.
But,
Yeah.
Okay.
We are.
I have
Also-
plans today too. So
Speaking of
Shh.
speaking
We're
of
talking.
speaking of politics, then to add into
keep
something
him down.
else, something else in the news, John McCain.
Oh,
his-
yeah.
his
crap.
passing.
Wow.
That
yeah, we'll get to that.
That dominated the news last week too.
Yeah, we definitely. I'd like to get to that. Wow, yeah, that's actually a huge one.
And it
also.
touches on a lot of the same issues that we were just talking about, even
Yeah.
as it relates to race and Kaepernick and
100%.
all that.
Yep. So, but you guys brought up a good point, and I've been saying this for a long time, is that some people don't want a cure, right? They don't want a cure for racism. They don't want a cure for cancer. And he said it very well, is that there are foundations set up specifically because they keep people employed. So why come up with a solution to something that is making you money, right?
Yeah.
So you can throw money at it, you could throw a percentage of it, but knowing that, again, we can even just talk about cancer. Is there a cure for cancer out there? Yes, no, I don't. It doesn't matter. But there's no money in the actual cure, right? There's money in the curing or the assisting in making people feel better, again, with chemo and that kind of stuff. And there are people that do get better. Obviously Joyce is an example of that. But in the end, it's just like racism. Social justice, again, is a career. So you don't if you perpetuate enough fear out there, you can make money off of it. I mean,
absolutely.
Jesse Jackson's been doing it, for, oh my God, how long, right?
Ever since I've been around.
Right, exactly. So, and I was going to talk, white guilt. Wow, isn't white guilt hilarious?
It's great.
I love it. I actually, because I was listening to you guys, I wrote something down. I said, because to me, white guilt, actually, I don't think it's an intentional thing. I think it's an unintended byproduct of controlling minorities.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because I don't think there's ever a focus for that, but they do such a good job of selling racism nowadays that it actually sweeps white people into it. You know what I mean? So I thought it was just really funny because you guys were talking about it. I thought it was really good. Yeah. So wait, let me see. They signed a group of individuals that feel so bad for minorities that they actually hate themselves. Now, what does that say about a human being who hates themselves? Like, I love who I am. I mean, for the most part, you get what I'm saying. Like,
I love who you are too.
You're the best. I mean, I don't wish harm upon myself, right? But people who have that type of, if you have such a guilt with just the color of your skin pigment, and think that, again, that somehow you are a better person, that we think that we're better because I have white skin,
Right.
That what does it say about another human being who thinks that their own people have? Again, I can even understand that, but like just white guilt in general, right? How much do you not like yourself to be able to throw that out there? It's a weird statement, right?
That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to feel bad.
I hate myself.
You should.
Well, I guess it's just so weird to me. I just think about like somebody who's like, well, you throw your white, whatever around. And again, people don't say that to me. Maybe I just run in the wrong circles. Maybe I need to get into that more, right? Hating myself. But I just look at that like, what are you talking about? Like, are you saying like as a white person that you somehow had it easier? Like maybe you did. I don't know. Usually money is what helps that, right?
Right.
And so it's just such a weird, God, the concept is weird regarding humanity to me. Because again, there's a self-hatred in there.
Yeah.
And I'll never understand that concept of self-hatred. Because that's really what that is. That's a self-hate. You've actually been brainwashed to hate yourself. That's how good that sales pitch is. It's that good. It's so good. It causes another human being to hate themselves, and it causes a minority to hate themselves enough where they feel like they're a victim in everything. And so it all of a sudden, and we talk about brainwashing, I think that's almost too easy because we say brainwashing, it's like an overnight thing, like or it's just this, it's a weird concept, but we're literally talking about a human's heart and their mind, how they have been made to feel like less of a human being because the powers that be have told them basically that everybody else around them thinks that way.
Right.
It boggles my mind. I don't understand the concept. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's literally
maybe
insane.
I'm wrong. I hate myself.
You should feel guilty about it.
I do. And I feel guilty that I'm touching myself right now.
Never feel guilty for that.
I'm just kidding. I don't.
All right. So, John McCain.
Wow. That's oh my God. It's not Aretha Franklin, but it is John McCain.
Oh my goodness. That's another thing in the news too. Holy crap.
I know.
2 major deaths.
Nice job, Detroit. Again.
Nice job.
With a systematic groping of young
Nice job, Bishop.
Oh my God.
Holy creep and a half.
Dude, I watched that video and I was like, at first I was like,
it was
I
awkward. It was painful to watch.
I was like, maybe it's not actually like a big deal. Maybe the news is blowing it out of proportion. But then I watched the video and I'm like, dude, no, he was genuinely like he was trying to grab her boob, dude.
Right, because no male, no upstanding male. It's either that or if you were going to do that, if you're going to touch a female's back or whatever, which again, so weird, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't even.
Especially if you're sweaty. He was real sweaty. I wouldn't
grab a stranger and wrap them so tightly,
and not just that,
but he claimed to not have any idea who she was before she was there, right?
Yeah, okay.
Ariana Grande from Taco Bell.
Yeah, it sounds like something on the Taco Bell menu,
she's an icon.
Right?
Okay, why do you know she's an icon?
Yeah,
if you just thought she was from Taco Bell 10 minutes ago.
But
I don't really care for Ariana Grande.
It doesn't matter. She's a human being.
Exactly. Like this is not because like I just have like some axe to grind with this
right.
Bishop. I'm not defending her because I'm like a big Ariana Grande fan or something.
Which you are.
Hey, listen, I have some posters and albums.
I've heard some music coming from his room, and he had his closet open, and there was a shrine.
How is that fan page going anyway?
Really well, really well.
But yeah, so any gentleman would never, ever put their arm around a female like that in that way, especially not high up. We know that's completely inappropriate.
Pinch the rear.
You
call her babe.
If you're gonna do it,
hey babe,
grab the ass.
You gotta get a firm chunk of butt.
Yeah.
But if you're just trying, but unless you're at a funeral, and then you just smack it. You just give it a quick
was
smack.
that funeral like 8 hours?
I think it was like longer. Like it was like 12 days.
Bill Clinton.
It was like the 12 days of Christmas.
He almost died on stage.
He died 3 times on stage.
Dude, what was just weird to me was
Louis Farrakhan. Okay, yeah.
Weird, right?
Why is a blatant hate monger supposedly at Aretha Franklin's funeral for any reason that had any value to it at all? Why was he there?
I know.
Does anybody know the answer to this? Please tell me. Somehow reach out to me and say, here's why Louis Farrakhan, who literally is okay with killing races of
but you got to make it.
You
got to put in bullet points. Though.
Tell me why he was there. Why?
Oh God, it's so weird. What that whole thing was That whole thing was a complete mockery, though. That was a completely ridiculous setup.
What
the whole
in
thing.
The world?
It was a stage for fools.
Yeah.
That's all it was. That's all it was.
Wow.
You know.
Who was okay with this? Is this her family that put this together?
Yeah.
But yeah,
What
like
in the world?
with the bishop, like I was just even if you're ever going to do that, it always has to be like at least with the arm. But he went like under her armpit.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, there's an actual picture
force
of
his way
like
through there.
like 2 of his fingers like on her
Certain-
side boob.
Certain
Yeah.
things in
Oh,
life
God, what a
are
freak.
really self-evident, right?
Ugh.
Human behavior is fairly self-evident in terms of like eye contact and
Yeah,
a
and predictable.
and a feeling in the room. You know, like
Absolutely.
being awkward or being uncomfortable is, for the most part, unless you're a sociopath,
Yeah.
everybody sort of picks this up in the room, right?
Yeah.
She was extremely uncomfortable.
I know.
Visibly, watching it made me uncomfortable.
I know.
And I'm watching it through a screen. Has she come out with any statements? Has
Look
she
at this.
responded to
See,
this at
look
all?
at- Look at her
think
face
she
on there.
did. I don't think she did. He did.
Yeah, he apologized
But
because
it was
he was.
something.
and
Well,
this-
I didn't even know.
And people on both sides, again, bringing race back into it because some people are like, you wouldn't understand black culture. That's a black culture thing for black preachers. I'm like, okay, so if I just said it's a white Roman Catholic priest thing to touch boys, and you just don't understand the culture,
See, dude,
Yeah.
it's
the same idea.
don't
It's
be
molestation.
Don't be an idiot.
You weirdos.
Like inappropriate
Yeah, look at
behavior is
that,
inappropriate
man.
no matter
Yeah.
whose culture it is.
Can
Yeah.
you see? You guys can see the screen.
We see ourselves.
Hey.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Oh God, it's so disturbing.
Oh gosh.
There's a side picture. There's a picture from like the angle of where forward
She's
of Jesse
literally.
Jackson. There. No, that wasn't even the good one. There was a one even worse. It was like, oh, God, look at that. It's so it's so disturbing.
Gosh.
Uh,
I
And
feel
he
like if
just
I was
kept
her
her
dad, I
wrapped
would
up.
fly to that guy's
Yeah.
church
he
and,
was
and
just
beat the living
horrible.
shit out of him.
Oh God, it was so disturbing.
Oh gosh, just imagine that being your daughter. I just thinking about it
horrible.
makes me angry.
I don't even like my daughter.
Yeah. I
Oh
don't
my
even
God,
like
we
my
haven't even
kids.
had her on. Like, we haven't even.
No.
Man.
Should see what if
Call
she
her
was
up.
Ariana Grande, what she would
I
do.
will.
Would she have triangled the bishop?
Yeah. Well, we'd see. God, that's
All
so
right,
weird.
so has Ariana? I want to know.
Get her on. Get
Make
Ariana
a
on.
statement. Yeah, we need Ariana on here.
Pastor accuser. I was say I think that she kind of kept it quiet, didn't she?
I would imagine her attorneys are probably working on something. Jeez.
Well, go to the Luke Cage star apologize for mocking tweet on Ariana Grande. What is that about? Oh my gosh! Now this is how you shoot your shot.
Coulter's now this is
0
how you shoot your
marks.
shot. The
That
was
tweet.
in response to Trevor Noah tweet that showed Grande being.
Include a series of emojis
deleted
meant
the
to
tweet and posted
portray
an apology.
hysterical laughter. Oh, so he must have done a
joke
think-
tweet about it, maybe.
Or,
something.
well,
I
it looked
couldn't-
like he was like, ha ha ha, that's funny. To me, that's just not funny. It's
Either way.
disturbing. But you know what? Fine. If you want to find humor, that's fine. It's up to you. You're entitled to your wrong opinion. But so were we going to talk about McCain or
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, John McCain, war hero. Blah 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 blah. Don't care. Honestly, don't care. I don't care that he.
I watched.
Was
now,
I
I'm
saw
curious
was
about
that
this
his
because
daughter?
I seen two like very divisive. It was his daughter. Like let's talk about it first. Between you had after he died, there was people in the military and law enforcement community posting like, you know, the sort of like whether you call it obligatory rest in peace kind of a thing,
Right.
like war hero, public servant. True American, blah blah blah. Then you had other people like just lambasting him, saying like, no, he was a traitor. He hated America. He was the worst at being a snake in politics. Like, it was real dividing.
Well, I think that he was a snake in politics. No
and
doubt
quite
about
quite
it.
honestly, like I didn't know any. I now understand like he was part of getting certain documents out that like some of the Russia collusion smokescreen
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
He was at
Well, he
the
hated
center
Trump.
of that. He hated Trump. Obviously, he didn't invite Trump to his funeral.
Which
He planned the
yeah,
whole
he had
funeral.
an uninvite. You know, like
And
list.
then
I think Rand Paul was on it even. So
here's the thing
that's-
for me.
so that's how you know he hates
my
America.
reaction to it is there's not a lot that I can comment on because I really am not like a huge John McCain knowledge buff, so I don't have a lot to say.
right.
But for those that were complaining that the funeral was bipartisan and McCain wouldn't have liked that, just know it's an indisputable fact that McCain planned his own funeral.
Right.
Including who is invited.
And who was absolutely not invited.
And who is not invited. So, however it appeared, you know, or whoever spoke had the right to speak, he knows he knew exactly what was going to happen when he planned his funeral. He planned it. So, the idea that it turned out in a way that he would have been disappointed in is a little bit dumb to me because he planned it. Like,
completely agree.
I don't want to disrespect the guy. I don't know him. I honestly know that he was a POW.
Yeah.
I know that he was released in like 1973 or something like that. I know he's from Arizona. I know he was a senator. I know he ran for president. That's about the extent of my knowledge of John McCain. I just haven't cared much about. I'm not a huge invested in politics guy to know like the ins and outs of his political career. I just don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of the same way. I think unless you're from Arizona, that you kind of fall. Besides the fact that he ran for president, right? And I think even Palin was on his no invite list. Also,
didn't they run together?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's, I guess people look at it like he was a true American war hero, blah blah blah, and I'm thinking, you can't spend that much time in politics and call yourself a good American. I mean, it's just my problem with people that have spent that much time in politics is you're barely human anymore. Let's be honest. When you realize that your job as a politician is actually there to feed your family, you'll do anything to keep it. And so you're going to run on different sides. And as a matter of fact, he wasn't a true conservative. And actually, I believe that there was a lot of things that he was involved in that in the end weren't, in my opinion, good for the country. So to bring a lot of old accolades to the person that he is now, whatever. Like I'm with you. I never knew the guy. I didn't know him personally. I mean, we Twittered back and forth, but no, but I don't. You know what I mean? I didn't really know him. I just know that there was a lot of things that he did at the time in different times that I was like, what is this about? Like, why is he doing that? I thought he was a Republican or whatever. Again, not that I'm a Republican or a Democrat. I find myself I fall definitely more to the right, but I'm not stupid enough to think that we're not all looking for the same kind. That we're not all trying to solve the world's problems, right? I mean, I think everybody would agree that world hunger is bad, or that we want clean water.
We don't fix those things.
Yeah, but we're not going to fix any of that shit. Well, that's the problem, right? There's no money in the cure.
Can you just imagine? Imagine, right? Just walking into Congress, like, or the State of the Union, and then you'd be like, you know what we all agree on? Hunger's bad. Clean water is good.
Yeah.
We can murder's bad.
Yeah.
Like, so let's agree to, like, what's the causes of these? Like, can we solve some of the things that we agree and disagree on unanimously?
That's the thing is, we actually agree.
But we don't do that.
We agree on pretty much everything. Because it's a human issue.
That doesn't work.
No, it never does. So, like, somehow as humans, we've drawn lines in shit that we already agree with.
This is why I believe, and I said this to my dad last night. We were talking about something. I was reading a book actually about counseling of all things, like how to actually help people. It's from a Christian perspective, but the idea is the guy that wrote the book spent a year with a secular psychiatrist who was in the 60s. Challenging everything we knew about psychiatry because the American culture has been heavily dominated by Freudian thinking, which puts the blame outside of ourselves for our problems.
Yep.
So he spent time in mental institutions and saw people actually make drastic changes. When this is why AA works, is because you have to admit the problem is you. It's not somebody else. And when you make amends, now this guy wasn't a Christian that he was following around. Right. But confessing your sin, like admitting your faults and shortcomings about yourself, about your relationships with others. It frees you.
Wait, that's
from
impossible. No,
Yes.
Mike. There's no way that you admitting that you're ever wrong in anything would lead to you being stronger someday.
Weird,
It's
huh?
That makes us weaker. When you admit your weakness, you're admitting that you're weak. I don't.
Dumb.
Are we not seeing this, guys?
Dumb.
Am
Who's
I
not seeing this?
confused?
So I said, like, this is why I really think the local church is and should be the hope of the world. This is why government used to be small and church used to be big, because the church
Yes.
used to actually deal with social issues. Why?
Then-
When people were hungry, the church fed them,
Right.
and they helped them. Where,
That
like,
definitely made a change.
you know,
Money.
and when we look historically, the greatest advances in certain human issues that were solved came from the church,
Yeah.
not from government initiatives. And I would love to see people start focusing on social good from a community standpoint of coming together on those major issues to deal with them, and
Heaven forbid.
stop worrying about the government trying to fix it.
Right.
Just stop it. Just forget
That
it.
will never happen.
It won't happen.
There's no money in the actual cure.
But I would love to see it. All right, we're being told we got to wrap up because our equipment's going to fry.
Yeah.
But what we'll do is
Oh, we got to come up with a place. Maybe we can actually do a hangout.
we can do a hangout.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. We can arrange that easy.
I just want people to buy my drinks. I want you to buy my drinks.
want to do it. What if you want to do a combo? Do an event where we grapple. We do an introductory jiu-jitsu thing with people at 313 right around the corner from Founders in Midtown, and we could actually go right over there.
Do whatever you want to do.
I like it.
Anything.
And I mean anything.